everybody, and welcome to Blue Jays Today, where we always have something to say about the Toronto Blue Jays. I am your host, Adam Peddle.
And I'm your host, Nicholas Playlog, and today we are going to be doing the biggest fantasy sleepers for you guys. Those guys that you are finding late in the drafts, like an average ADP of over 200, and the guys that could potentially win you your league. But before we get into that, guys, please make sure to like, subscribe, comment down below, the whole shebang. And also, if you want to win a Blue Jays jersey, then hop in the Monkey Knife Fight and use our code TODAYJays, place your first bet, and then if you do that before April 1st, you will be entered to win your choice of a Blue Jays jersey for free. So make sure you do
For
free.
And guys, not many people in it right now, so if you enter, you could get you could have a really good chance. Really good chance. Must be 18 and over.
Yes, and I would say the same thing for those of you who want to win your fantasy league. Ooh. If you draft these players, you will have a very, very good chance. So I have three. You have three. Do you want to start off by giving me your first out of your three?
Absolutely. All right. So, guys, obviously, the catching position is not a very deep position in fantasy baseball. So we got to find these guys if we're not going to get people like Will Smith, Perez, Contreras. If we're not getting those, JT Realmuto.
Of course, couldn't forget him.
If we don't get those guys, we got to make do with someone in the late rounds. And that person I think you should grab is James Mccann, now signed to the New York Mets. James Mccann is finally now a full-time catcher. After, 7 seasons in the big leagues, he finally gets that starting role. He's going right now at the average draft position about 204. So if you missed your catcher, you want to grab James Mccann.
Late.
The last 2 years, 149 games. He batted for a slash line of 276, an on base of 334, a slugging of 474, and an OPS of 808 for a catcher.
That's pretty elite,
25
actually.
bombs. Yeah, that's pretty good for a catcher.
Damn.
And he's going to be batting 8th in the lineup, which I know is a little bit later. But here's the thing: he's batting behind Dominic Smith and JD Davis in that lineup. Dominic Smith's slash line for the last 2 years is 299, 366, 571 slugging, and a 937, whereas JD Davis is 289, 370, 483, and an 853.
Well,
so he's batting behind two really good players.
Yeah, and the Mets are an elite lineup overall, and we've talked about this countlessly on this podcast about how they are a team to beat. It's also important to know too that he'll be in that 8th spot, but the beautiful thing about that is that he could potentially turn over the lineup as well.
To Frankie Lindor, to Jeff McNeil, to Alonso, to Conforto. Those guys can bat him in, right?
Yeah.
Because when James McCann, he was mainly batting in that heart of the order in Chicago in 2019 as a backup catcher, but then he got pushed down a little bit, but still had a decent year. But with that full-time job now I think he's going to take off this year, and especially at an ADP of 204, you're going to want to get James McCann in your lineup.
Seems like a definite steal at that position anyways. Feels like because you're right, man, like the catching position, it is dry, and a lot of the times I do miss out on some of those other higher players, but I feel like James McCann is definitely in that realm of could be major breakout.
Absolutely.
For 2021.
Who do you got for the next sleeper?
So my first guy is a relief pitcher, and his name is Jordan Hicks on the St. Louis Cardinals.
He throws like 103.
Well, he throws faster than anyone has ever thrown ever because he has the fastest pitch of all time.
Really? I thought it was Chapman at 105.
No. Jordan Hicks. Jordan Hicks beat him out, man. He is the fastest recorded ever pitch. More than that.
Oh, really? Oh, wow.
Yeah, I kid you not. He has the fastest recorded ever pitch, and this is a guy who regularly hits 103 miles per hour. Wow. Now, the thing was, in 2019, he was off to an incredible start. He converted 14 out of 15 save opportunities. He was looking dominant. That was through like 30-something innings, and then the kid got hurt, and he had to go and do Tommy John. Ugh. Not ideal, and we haven't seen him ever since. Now, I think that's the reason why he is as low as he is right now.
Forgetting about him.
We're literally just forgetting about him. So I was looking at it and I was like, okay, well, all of the numbers when he was the starter look great. And in 2018 too, his expected numbers, everything looks super good. How is he right now? He's coming off of Tommy John. Apparently, he's done a bullpen sesh. He's hit 102 miles per hour. No loss in velo. This guy is 24, which I love to see because when somebody does go down with Tommy John, much easier to recover when they are younger compared to when they are like 34, for instance. So I think that this guy is a shoe-in lock for like a ton of saves, and you can get him right now at an ADP of 218. It feels like it's a real steal. It feels like he could start the season off sharing that role with somebody else, but I think that he will very quickly take it over.
I mean, even if you have holds in your league for whatever category league, or maybe you have holds in your points leagues, like that could easily work. And yeah, being a closer too, you know, that's easy. I think he's going to easily take that job back.
You know, he's at an expected slugging over his career of 270.
That's pretty low.
That's very low. The league average is 402.
Yeah.
So his expected slugging is 270. So no one really hits off of this guy when he is throwing the heat as he does.
Yeah. Oh, I like
recommend.
him. I like him. I got him last year, and he got hurt with me last year, so that sucks. But he was really nice. He was really, really, really nice.
Yeah. Who else you got?
So I got another guy. This is an infielder, second base, third base. His name is Eduardo Escobar from Arizona Diamondbacks. This guy is their middle of the lineup guy at an ADP right now at 249. So getting into the area for some leagues where literally you're not even drafting this guy.
This is starting to get into waivers because a lot of leagues in a 10-teamer, you have 23 draft spots. So yeah, this is undrafted now.
This is undrafted. So if you're really shallow on your second base, third base depth, I would consider picking up Eduardo Escobar. Why? Because his upside is really high. He only hit last year of a slash line of 212, 270, 335, an OPS of 605 in 54 games. But I'm not really too worried because literally what he did in 2019, he started off really, really slow. He started off very slow, very cold. He actually was dropped. Little experience from my time in the league. I picked him up when he started getting hot. He proceeded to hit 35 home runs that year.
Yeah.
Really evened out all of his slugging.
On the wire.
I got a really good steal. Ended up being like sitting in the top 10 for most of the season. And he ended up getting his slugging back up to 511, right? And it's no fluke because in 2018 he was 514 his slugging.
Right.
So, I'm going to blame the short sample size and the slow start to that. So again, if you need that spot, Eduardo Escobar is super freaking cheap and could be a big part of that Arizona Diamondback lineup.
Yeah, no, I feel like Escobar is one of those players where like bounce back could definitely be incoming. Especially on the Diamondbacks, man. Like I feel like if they're gonna have offense, like he's going to need to play a role in creating that offense.
He is the offense with Marte.
yeah, pretty much. And it's like if I'm gonna buy in on one of those two guys, I'd much rather wait like several rounds later on Escobar than pay up for a Ketel Marte. And I'll be honest, like I don't know what that lineup's going to look like, but I feel like when he's going undrafted, you can take a flyer on this guy in your last round and feel pretty good about it.
Absolutely. Even if you don't draft this guy and no one else does, like, and he's on the wire, like, keep your eye on him.
Yeah,
like,
star him up,
get him on your queue, or not queue, but your wish list.
Yeah,
and hope he breaks out.
Agreed. Agreed.
What do you got now for number 4?
My second one here is an outfielder. He is going at an ADP of 255. So again, we're in the category of undrafted or like right in that last round. And this guy is Aaron Hicks. Now, I can't speak too highly on what he does with the bat because he's actually not an elite hitter. He's maybe a average to below average hitter.
Yeah.
What he is elite at, though, is his on-base percentage. He is a monster when it comes to the on-base percentage. He's kind of like their version of Kevin Biggio. He's been good. He's been getting better at it his whole career. And I think the biggest thing that stands out to me for this guy is that he's projected to bat third in the Yankees lineup.
Yeah.
And for me, that just means production. Like, we are looking at somebody, you never get people who bat third going undrafted.
Right.
And this guy's going to bat third on arguably the best lineup in the whole league. I feel like that is just a recipe for production numbers, for runs, for RBIs. And if he does take a little bit of a step up in the bat, which he did do in 2018, he was pretty good back then I think that this guy will be an absolute steal coming off of like what is the waiver wire, and you can have him as like your fourth outfielder.
Yeah, literally your fourth outfielder. even your fifth, depending on how many people you got.
Exactly, and anyone who's going to bat between Judge and Stanton and LeMahieu and Voit, you're sandwiched between all of these guys.
Yeah, lots of numbers,
lots of potential. To get some points on the board.
Lots of walks.
Exactly. I feel like he could be right up there for a lot of runs this year because he's going to take those walks. He's going to have a high on base percentage, and Stanton and Voit aren't going to miss.
Stanton, Voit, Torres, and if Sanchez is back and doing Sanchez things, hitting home runs as a catcher, then
he's going to get scored.
That's amazing. Mm-hmm. I like him. And my last guy is a pitcher. He's a starting pitcher right now for the Detroit Tigers. And you're thinking, Detroit Tigers, oh my God, they're bad. Mm-hmm. But this is their number 2 prospect in Casey Mize, going at an average draft position of 287. Casey Mize, we actually just watched him play the other day, and I was thoroughly impressed with his command. He did walk a few guys, so I just counter my own thing, saying he had good command. But he did look awesome, and he's expected to crack the rotation and take another step forward, kind of like Nate Pearson for us with the Toronto Blue Jays.
Right.
I almost put Nate on here, but he's hurt right now, so I'm kind of I'm just gonna wait and see. So for the purpose of this video, I'm gonna go with Casey Mize, which is another good prospect. The rotation right now is, I'm gonna be honest, it's kind of ass.
Yeah, it's pretty bad, dude.
It's literally Boyd, who's kind of, he's only got strikeout potential.
Yeah.
Turnbull's been kind of ass. Fulmer, he was in the pen last year, kind of starting, kind of butthole. He got Turan, ass.
Butthole.
Yeah, seriously. I'm running out of words for ass. So butthole. Urania, they just picked up. We watched him too. He was poopy. And then Escobar had a rough beginning to his career last year, but I think I didn't look too much into Escobar, but he could be one of their another prospects. Right. But Casey Mize is the guy to look for. He's got good stuff. He could be a diamond in the rough if you're low on pitchers.
Yeah, I feel like he's he might be one of those guys where I don't know if I'm going to draft him, but I'm 1,000% going to be keeping my eye on him as things progress, because you're right, dude. I liked a lot of what he was doing yesterday, and I felt like in the future, if it's not this year, he's definitely going to be some dude that we're going to know this guy's name at some point.
Right. Yeah, I mean, in our kind of 10-player league, 287 is really deep. But if you have someone, if you're in a 14 or 12-player league, now you'd look to grab this guy and store him.
And also too, if any of you guys are doing a keeper league or a dynasty league, do not sleep on Casey Mize. The Detroit Tigers, although they look sorry, I'll use your terminology, butthole right now. They will not be butthole for too much longer, because they have a lot of non-butthole prospects coming up, and this guy is definitely one of them. So I would hop on the train early. My last guy here, average draft position of 320, also a pitcher. He just signed. It's Jake Odorizzi. I feel like this guy's just going way, way, way too late, and I think that is a product of the fact that he was up until literally 2-3 days ago, not on a major league roster, and I think that people have just completely forgot about him as an option. But he is definitely serviceable. Not going to say that he's going to win you your league, but I do think that he will be the second or third pitcher on Houston, which is still a very, very good ball club, and should pitch for a decent amount of innings. He's about a strikeout per inning guy. I feel like there's upside here, and this guy's going to be on the wire. And if you're strapped for pitching, maybe you took a bunch of bats early. This is definitely a guy that I would target and have as my 5th or 6th pitcher. Yeah, no,
absolutely. And he might actually start increasing ADP as we get closer to the season, because people are going to start grabbing him.
I do think so.
So if your drafts are soon, notice this, recognize this, that you're not going to see him in the last little bit. You got to search for him a little bit deeper. Would you say 320?
He's right now 320.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. So go get him, and before his ADP gets higher.
Yeah, I do think that people are going to start drafting him now that they know that, this is probably the second guy on Houston. Definitely could see a lot of innings, signed a good contract, should be getting his work in. So I wouldn't sleep on him. His 2019 numbers were really good. ERA of 3.51. 178 Ks and 159 innings, and I think that those innings could be even higher in 2021 now that he is probably the second guy on Houston.
Right. Yeah, who do they have on Houston right now? They have,
It's probably between either because Framber Valdez, is that his name?
Valdez, yeah.
He's down with an injury. He could be gone the whole season.
Oh shit.
So now you're looking at Zach Greinke is definitely their number
Zach
one.
Greinke.
And that's probably another reason why they got Odorizzi in the first place.
Yeah.
Was because Valdez went down for a season. But then you're looking at who is the number two. Probably either Odorizzi, Lance McCullers Jr., maybe Christian. Don't want to say his name because I'm gonna butcher it apparently.
Javier,
whatever.
I feel like that's what it is.
But I do think that realistically, it's Jake Odorizzi's job to lose right now. Probably between him or Lance McCullers Jr. And I think he'll win it out. So yeah,
fair enough. No, that's very good. Guys, that is our fantasy sleepers for the 2021 season. Let us know, guys, in the comments down below, who of these sleepers do you like? Is there someone else we missed? Because there was a crap load that were going undrafted.
Yeah.
So there are definitely a lot of guys that are definitely sleeper potential that can make a boom on the free agency, and you got to pick them up early. So let us know, guys, in the comments down below.
And you can also check us out on Spotify, Breaker, Anchor, Radio Public, and Google Podcasts. Also, make sure to like, subscribe, ring the notification button, and also, if you'd like to win the jersey, today Jace is the code, and if you're 18 or older or gambling age, then please use it and become part of our community of Monkey Knife Fight players. And $3 a month will get you on our Patreon, TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, blah blah blah, social media handles. They're in the description.
Yeah. Guys, thank you so much for watching.
And go Jays, go.
Yes, sir.